Hello and welcome to another episode of Powering Past Abilities. I'm your co-host Michael Hummel. Our other co-host Nick Tabor will be joining us shortly. How are you today? There's Nick.
Good morning, you wonderful guy. How you doing?
Good. How you doing, sir?
Oh, fantastic today. I had to be on the ability. I just had to preach this one because I had so many ideas for this episode. So I feel like I'm at the pulpit today. I feel like I'm really ready to go. So, man, oh
You
man,
look.
how is it in beautiful Las Vegas?
It's not bad. It's I haven't been outside today. I haven't been outside yet, but it looks pretty.
Yeah, I went on a 3 mile run this morning, and man, the city is just beautiful. It's given us a lot of hope today, and a lot of good spirit, a lot of good things, and it made me think about things we're gonna do. See, we got the greetings from Hope for the children of Central
Yeah.
Berry, Uganda. Oh, hope y'all doing all right. Great. Hey, Cliff. And yeah, today I want to talk about with prepping for physical challenges. And Mike, I sent you notes. And I said stuff like the Murph Challenge, the Spartan Race, and you're looking at that. And you're like, great. What is it? Like,
Yeah. I've heard of the
yeah,
Spartan Challenge, but I've never heard of the Murph Challenge.
yeah. Murph Challenge is a really great thing. It comes around Memorial Day, and it's coming up soon. So I'm toyed with the idea of doing it again, but I did this a few years ago for the United Cerebral Palsy Foundation in Rhode Island.
Okay.
And it was an effort to raise money. They said they wanted somebody to put, them on the map again. I said, okay, I'm willing to do it. I said, how about if I'm the only person with cerebral palsy to do the Murph Challenge at all and complete it? And they're like, well, sure. And all the records, and there's basically what the Murph Challenge is was created by a soldier in Iraq, and unfortunately he has passed away.
Okay.
But it's a challenge that basically is that you run 1 mile,
Mm-hmm.
do 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then run a mile again. And the challenge is to complete this within an hour. Now, me with CP, it's like, hey, great, awesome, let's do it. Oh shoot, what if my arm gives out? What if this happens? Or what if I really can't breathe anymore? Or other things that happen like that. And Marines have trouble doing it. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, let's go. In the back of my head, I'm like, hey man, you think you're better than the Marine? Nah, no, I'm not. And in the back of my head, like, yeah, we can do this, great. But the challenge again, complete it within an hour. I completed it in 58 minutes and 48 seconds.
Oh, damn. I couldn't even do it because I can't run.
Well, I mean, I was having trouble running. I mean, I'll send you a video later because I think one of my clients put it up on YouTube
Okay.
for a while. I think it's still there. I don't think it got taken down yet because of the music he put on it. But we put through it. I said, you know what? I'm going to do it just to show it can be done. And I'm the guy in my head. I'm like, well, let's try to see what we can do. Let's try to see what we can do and show people who think they have, deficiencies or issues or anything that they can do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can do it, or it's something that can be done. Can we do it perfectly? No,
No one does.
no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, it was 58:46 was my total. I said, people are like, you want to do it again? And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but I'm not going to try to beat that goal. Like I just got it, so I said maybe I'll do it every once in a great while for fun.
Yeah.
But it comes to the point is where people are going to look at it and say, okay. And a lot of people have asked me, they said, man, I'm differently abled. I have some problems, but I want to do a particular challenge. Like I had a client who did the Spartan challenge,
Yeah.
It's okay. And we've also had clients in the past who have said to me, I want to do whatever challenge X is. I want to do challenge X. Great. Okay. And then one woman says, I want to run a marathon next week. Well, you need to have the right shoes first.
Yeah, that's important.
You got to start with that, and start with step one. Let's keep going, and then keep moving on, and then keep going forward. Eventually, you keep going. I got good energy today, folks, so bear with me.
Yeah.
So, the Spartan Challenge is a challenge that was created, and it's mostly out of, I think it's Sparta, New York, but created from, it's just a wild thing where people are walking towards, walking over balance beams, over that have, pits of mud, crawling under barbed wire, swinging ropes, going up particular walls on ropes. And it's really anything you could possibly imagine without the element of fire.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's crazy. And he said to me, he says, would you want to do this with me? I'm like, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But they told me I'm differently able. What can I do? And we want to walk through some of the stuff you can do today, because anyone can do stuff.
Yeah.
You can do it. So it's just looking at it, and I want to bounce these off you and say, what do you think we could do, and what are things that people could do, because everybody has a challenge and it's particularly different every time.
Yeah.
Whether it's I'm going to walk 1 mile every single day, or I'm going to, it might seem mundane, but I had something a few months ago that I was doing, saying I'm going to do this was about 1.5 years ago. I'm going to do 200 push-ups every single day.
Wow.
To see how far it goes. And I ended up at the very end, with 6,000 push-ups at the end of the month.
Oh, damn. Nice.
I'm looking, I'm like, all right, I'm feeling really good. And, it was like something like a calling in the back of my head going, all right, try it. Let's see what happens. Screw it. So I did it.
I know I know I can do 100, but I don't think I can do 2.
Oh, well, I mean, it's still, didn't do 2, and do something, but it kind of brings up the first point, is you want to challenge yourself, but challenge yourself within your means.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can always build up to 200.
Exactly. There's a gentleman who will go into the gym, and we see this almost all the time. People will walk into a gym and start trying to lift the heaviest possible weight.
Yeah.
They'll put the plates on there. They'll put the plate after plate after plate at the bar, and then I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop right now. And I tell everybody this, and it seems to be like they look at me like I'm a messiah when I say this, and it's just one of those like, oh, wow, but train your body. You do not train your ego.
Yeah. I always start small and build up.
Exactly. So if you're working within your means and you try to challenge yourself, maybe you don't want to go ahead and do that marathon right away. Yeah. Or maybe you don't want to do something else, but maybe you want to walk the stairs unassisted.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to be able to, I don't know, give me some other challenge. What would you do, Mike?
Walk upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
That's not always easy.
No, but walk up somewhere unassisted, or walk up somewhere, but other stuff like genuinely just having time taking time for yourself to cook, or some clients I've had who have said, I just need to make sure I cook for myself every day.
Cooking is not easy because of my balance issues. I'm like always like concerned about like falling and tripping and like burning myself.
Yeah. Oh man, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, man. But it was just little things. Maybe you don't want to cook an entire Thanksgiving meal, but start with making a sandwich or something, or cooking an egg.
Yeah.
Something here. So let's see. Who says something here in the chat? Lady Lexi. So true. Start with what you can do. Don't overdo it, and hurt yourself in the process. But build up your strength. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true itself. And I mean, there's some of the photos where you see, I think, classic stuff. We've all seen, like the little guy who is on the beach with his girl, and then the big guy walks over, kicks sand in the face, and tries to leave with the girl.
Hmm.
And then that little, but that they don't show is that little guy is also going to the gym and picking up that 1 pound weight later and doing that and then a little thing. But and I think the second thing is really making sure that you have patience with it. We all want to have that, and with the culture and things that we have in entertainment. I mean, I think personally, like growing up, I had a neighbor who, this is a cutesy story, kind of turns a little sad for a moment, but it actually gives a big thing of hope. But he was giving away comic books
Hmm.
constantly, constantly giving away comic books, and these were like classic cool stuff.
Okay.
Old Archie, old superhero stuff, everything that he wanted to do. And turns out his son was a big comic book collector, died in Vietnam.
Oh, wow.
So, it was just his last thing that he was holding on to his son, but he decided to share it with the kids in the neighborhood in order to like, see his son's legacy keep going.
Yeah, that's good.
Something that he loved and kept going. And I'm like, wow, it took me years to, when I knew that story, I felt a little sad. And then, once I knew about that, I'm like, yeah, I feel good about that. I feel good. But what where they go, you take those steps, like we look at it, and one of the things I really got stuck with was, I got comic books of Captain America and Spider-Man. And growing up, where Steve Rogers put into a machine, became this really scrawny guy, became this really big, tough dude. And, Spider-Man bitten by a radioactive spider and, all of a sudden had all these abilities.
Yeah,
But what does that put in our mind, man?
that you can
Yeah.
keep going and like I don't know.
Well, a negative effect on that, yes, but you can keep going. You are correct. You're correct, though. But what happens is it says that, these things can change quickly. We're looking for that
Oh, yeah,
one effect, that one thing that can go, okay, we're good. Or that's, you and I have had multiple surgeries, too,
yeah.
between the
I've
two of us.
I've had
Yeah,
about 30.
yeah, just about the same for me. Let's say
Yeah.
cars get oil changes, we get surgeries. But it's what we've got to do is you got to realize, we look for that one surgery that's going to fix everything, or that one thing that's going to do it. It's not going to happen. It takes the time. It takes time to
It
be able
does.
to build up to it and have patience for it. And a friend of ours, actually, I got one of his books right here. There.
Yes.
Yeah. So tying the self-worth, actually, I marked this off earlier, but it was the why and your purpose, and page 54 of the book, Built to Serve.
Hmm.
Always tie your self-worth to your journey, not the destination. It's the steps that you take that make you better. It's where you came from to where you're going. You do not want to set yourself up for failure by saying, I'm going to get here. When I get here, I'll be happy. It's working towards your happiness every day that makes you the best you could be. You want to find your purpose from your pain, and this is a difficult part.
Yeah.
The purpose from the pain here, think about the most painful moment that you've had in your life, the moment that you never want to repeat. That moment when you felt worthless as a human being. Yep, that moment. It sucks, right? Your purpose is to help others where you're currently facing the same struggle that you went through. That's it. It's simple, and yet it's true.
Yeah,
And
it
so
is.
we always...
Evan's in my neck of the woods. He's in Vegas now.
He is.
He is, yes.
Oh, boy. He is. That's... Wow. All right. Wow. What was he doing there? I forgot.
He's got a conference.
Oh, okay. Dig. Right on. Right on. but it's always about the pain, about something you can do, and try to find something and research it. We want to find that purpose and pain, that little bit of motivation to go through whatever challenge you're going to go through.
Mm-hmm.
There's someone who is in your position as well, or is just behind where you were, saying they never could do it, or they never ever could, or never thought they could be that certain way.
Yeah.
You know?
I've met many people like that.
Yeah. Me
And
too. Yeah, me too. Definitely, definitely. And to be able to inspire them is what motivates me.
yeah.
And what
Yep.
we need is the motivation now to keep going forward and to keep trying. Whether it's, you said how many push-ups could you do? 2 push-ups?
Push-ups, I could probably do around 100.
Okay. Oh, big. All
I
right.
knew
All right.
I knew
Yeah.
I could do, but I can't do 2. I'd have to
Yeah.
build up that.
Yeah. But if it is up to 100, I mean, there are so many people who can do none,
Mm-hmm.
or have given up, or have had that self-defeating, voice in the back of their head going, "Nah, I can't do it." Or the other one that's like, "No, it's all fine. No, it's not good." Okay, and then doing this. This should really be the still shot for the episode of me talking to myself. And then research, physical challenges that I have done, when you get into it and you look at it going, "Oh boy, no, I'll do that." Then you find out what that is, and you're like, "That's good." The ego comes back.
I got a question. How long did you have to prepare for the Merc Challenge and the Spartan Challenge? Spartan, right?
Spartan Challenge I never did, but I was helping a client do that.
Okay.
And it took him about, he was in fairly decent shape already, so we kind of had a little bit ahead of the game. They just needed some tweaking. It took about 3 months for him to do it.
Okay.
And then he was okay. For me, it was about 6 months
Okay.
of just solid working at it, and then just trying to do bits and pieces, and also within that 6 months failing at it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, doing it, and I made that beautiful mistake of eating the wrong food just before I got started with it, and my belly's rumbling, and I'm like, "Yeah, this is not a good idea."
No,
it's, I'm like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and load up on a whole bunch of protein." I said, "Okay, I'll eat six egg whites."
Mm-hmm.
Not a good idea.
No,
not a good idea at all.
I've been there. I've eaten things that like made my stomach rumble, and been in situations where that was not a good idea.
No, me neither. No, but the Merc Challenge definitely takes some time, because it's about the recovery process after you do it.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, it was on a Sunday that I did it, and the next day I had to go to work at 5:00 in the morning.
Ooh.
And I'm in we live on a 3rd floor, as
Okay.
you can tell with the roof back here.
Yeah.
So we're at the back steps, and I'm looking down, and we have a semi-spiral staircase on the back of our house,
Mm-hmm.
down our apartments, and it's 4:30 in the morning, and I'm looking down, and I went, "Oh no," and I can barely move my hips. My hip flexors are totally shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Well, okay, I got an idea, but this is going to take a little while, and I might be a few minutes late." So I grabbed onto the bars, and I just shimmied my way down like this, and just my feet are barely touching the steps. I just go down a little bit, spiral down, rest, up, down, spiral down, and my legs are just swinging in the process, just down and all the way down. And I'm like, "Okay, I got down to the ground. How am I going to drive?"
I'm picturing you sliding down the pole.
I would be cool with it. It's one of those, the structures are, it's wooden cement structures through there, but if there was a pole that was in the middle, yeah, that would have been cool. I would have just done that.
Down the staircase.
Yeah, that would have been. Oh yeah, that would have been awesome too. If it would have been easy to slide and spin. Yeah, man. Oh man, now you get me daydreaming about that. uh, I think with physical challenges, when you do it, it's just kind of going backwards a bit. It's about you. It's about your thing and what you want to do. And the last thing that we do it is we just want to do a great thing, set up your tribe.
Yeah.
And I talk about tribe a lot in a lot of my videos on my own account, but it's your 3 to 5 people that you have that will support you no matter what. And I had, friends, 2 new friends of mine who really supported me and helped me fundraise. My wife and my dad
Hmm.
that was with me, and then it ended up being about 20 people around me watching, and it was Patients of United Cerebral Palsy of Rhode Island with me, and looking and watching and just seeing this. And it's one thing to have a challenge when you're doing it, like, hey, okay, I did it, and then having 20 eyes behind you watching, just like, hey, is he doing it? Hey, he's good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he's got it.
I get that. Yeah.
A little different, a little different, but it's just, if you have that with you, that's, oops, I think I lost you from there we go. You have the tribe with you, the better you're going to do. I might have lost the balance here, so I'll just go on my, let's go here. So, if you have the tribe with you, the better you can do. And if anything, when you're differently abled or whatever you may call it, the better it's going to be, because success at the end is not on the fact that you actually did it. It's what you do when you put your journey, to go through the journey and not worry about the destination.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
The process is more important than the outcome.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The process is way, way more important, but the fact that you put yourself through it and didn't listen to the naysayer, that little yay me, or that little man in the back of your head that's going, maybe not, or I call it the Chucky Finster for those of you who may remember Rugrats when I was little. See, I don't think it's such a good idea.
I remember it. I never watched it though.
Yeah. Oh, I watched it constantly. It was me with cartoons is pretty much all I had. But there's your little challenge. There's things that we can do if we are the way we are.
Yeah.
And I seem to have taken a lot of this episode, man. Sorry about that.
I miss wheelchair racing because that's what I used to do. And it's Vegas, so it's hot out here. So there's like none out here.
What was it that you did?
Wheelchair racing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they don't do something like that way?
No, because it's too hot, and it gets like over 100 here.
Oh yeah. That makes sense.
You die.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense too. And damn, dang, we do have that every once in a while. I know there's a mini Paralympics in Massachusetts,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's out in a town called Sharon, Mass, which is actually it's not far away from me. It's out in the Cape.
Okay.
But the high school down that area has a really, really, really large track, which a normal high school track is about a quarter of a mile. Theirs is about 3/4 of a mile.
Nice.
So it's a good size, but it's they also get some good funding because they host a lot of stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of things. So I think they're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
There should be sometime this summertime, because there's occasions where it does get pretty hot.
Yeah.
But Sharon, New Orleans, and all the others, those are all coastal towns, so it starts to the temperature drops really quick.
Yeah. Okay.
So where the rest of the state may be like 100 degrees, they're about 80. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's about 80 degrees Fahrenheit.
20 degrees is a big difference. Because of the elevation in Vegas, it goes from 100 to 80 like in a short amount of time.
Oh really? Oh really?
The higher you are, the colder it is. So in the bottom, it's really hot. Up here, it can be colder. So.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. I didn't know that. Oh man. So we talked about challenges today. Is there any particular ones that you would do?
Any challenges? Well, I'd love to do the ones you mentioned, but I can't. Well, at least the one I can't do because of running.
Yeah.
Uh, I work out at home because I don't like going to the gym. Uh, like I said, I love to do wheelchair racing, but they don't really have it out here. I play basketball and rugby. They have those out here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. And the Murph Challenge itself, I mean, it does not have to be a run. I didn't do a run
Oh, okay.
myself. I did not do a run. It's just the hardest part is timing that first mile,
Hmm.
and making sure that you do it enough so you don't cut your time in from when you do the other stuff,
Yeah.
and then timing that last mile with the amount of time you have left.
I have done like there was a track that we used to do the hand bikes in.
Yeah.
So I had done like 20 miles of hand bikes.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a great one.
that was fun.
Yeah, that's a great one too. And I mean, it doesn't have to be the Murph Challenge. I mean, the Murph Challenge is hard.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
It's really hard, and I mean, for some people, I threw that out because that was something I did.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But it was 6 months of prep, and there was a couple of my military friends who did it. They're like, "Oh, I did it in 34 minutes." I'm like, "Great!" I'm like, "Not competing against you." Great.
I get that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, but it's really about if you're able to do it, then there's really no shame in saying you can't.
Yeah.
But with my CP issues, I mean, this hopefully will, I feel like I don't want to make you feel bad, but I mean, there's the others like the hand bike challenge that you said you did.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
No,
Like my arm would give out in
yeah.
a mile or two.
Yeah.
But it seemed cool though.
Well, it was fun. It was just I can't do an actual bike, so that was just fun. And
I can't either.
I just love the idea of being able to do that. Because I had a hand bike when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't do a bike either. I never it never grasped it because of the CP issues in my leg. I never could balance a two wheel,
Yeah.
and it's just something that I didn't learn how to swim for the matter of fact until I was in my 30s,
Okay.
and it was little bits and pieces. Also, I had a deep fear of the water.
I used to swim when I was a kid in like the Olympic events, but I just grew out of it. I just stopped liking it because they had the swimming events and the basketball events like back to back, and I
Yeah,
liked football more, so I just stopped swimming.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that at all. But it's for the challenge itself for anyone who is listening who wants to do the right challenge. I mean, it's research, figure out what you can do. If it's not for you, maybe something you can do
Yeah.
and go for yourself. You're competing against yourself.
Yeah, that's important to think to
Yeah,
realize. A lot of people don't
yeah,
know they're competing against. They like look at everyone else instead of themselves.
yeah. You're competing against you. It's not the fact, like if I went ahead and played basketball too, I mean, Mike would probably outdo me. I mean, I had a basketball hoop. I was pretty decent when I was a kid, but if I started dribbling a basketball, am I going to go ahead and compete against Michael Jordan?
No. And if
No.
we did, if we did karate, you'd kick my ass.
But I'm sure you get a good slap in. Yes. But in time, it's always the balance. But it's competing. Even the martial arts too. Like
Yeah.
that's a good point. That's a good point when you say that. Even when you go into tournaments and you're quote competing against hi Angie, you're competing against
Yeah.
other people. Other people or other things, and doing that, you're really competing against yourself.
Yeah.
Especially where, like, I remember one time I went out there and I was doing a bow form that's called the Korean title of it is Hanbun Shishi no Kunodai, which is bow staff form of oneself, a loose translation. And I did that, and then some kid came up, and it's a well-known form and very old. One kid did it. He went up and he had a bow staff too. I'm like, oh, okay, everything's good. He did the exact same form from another school. I looked at it and I panicked right away. My dad looked at me. He's like, no. He's like, go get out there anyways and screw it. He's like, even if you don't compete, you have no placement.
Yeah.
You have no placement. If he gets first and you get second, you got second.
Yeah.
You got second out of everybody, and you still do what you do. You still go after it. So it's just still, you're competing against you. You're seeing how well you can do against everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what, you're right. And I went in there, and that one, I think I ended up third.
Okay.
But there's no placement if you don't get out there.
Yeah. Too many people are worried about other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Too many people are worried about it. Like, I got to go out there. I got to get a first place trophy. I'm like, that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case. I mean, there's been several times, a really good friend of mine who, she's a second degree black belt now. She's a cop in one town over from here.
Okay.
Very, very good lady. And every time we went to a tournament in the dojo, she always came back with arms full of trophies. Like, she was really, really kicking ass. She was really awesome.
Okay.
And I would come in and I'd have one, maybe two, and I'd always end up in the newspaper picture. I'd always ended up standing next to her.
Yeah.
Like, can we at least place this a little bit more? Because she's like standing there holding all these, like, yes, this is great, this is awesome. And then, oh, okay, good. And I got this one little one. I'm like, I did good too. Yeah, I did awesome.
Yeah.
But it still isn't like, you know what? No, I did it. I did it. And for anyone who is out there, remember, it's you. And I know I sound like a bit of a broken record, but I want to really cement that into your heads. It's you.
Yeah. That's more. You got to think about yourself, what you want to accomplish, and what is important to you, and
exactly.
Let everyone else worry about themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like, my sister just recently, she just got her doctorate in education.
Oh, nice.
And, just really, really, really rocking the show. I mean, this is a little different but similar territory. And her and I are the only two in our family ever to go to college.
Okay.
Like, our mom went to a trade school, became a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little different then, but we're the only ones to do it. It's just, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to go right to the top.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, good. And she, her and I graduated. We got our bachelor's at the same time. I found a job and things started doing different. I had my bachelor's still. She got her master's, got her doctorate, and said, and she wrote her dissertation about female college leaders in the United States and how they've progressed through the glass ceiling. And the conclusion was, when all of them that were successful always thought about it with themselves, and it wasn't about trying to break through everything, or it wasn't about it. And I mean, there's somewhat of it, and folks who are listening, forgive me if I do sound a little bit ignorant, but this was kind of her conclusion of it. Is the fact of the matter is that there's all of this paring down, and she's like, no, she still could do it. And I mean, she's one of many female doctors, of course, but it was like, if I'm going to get to this, she put it through the fact of everything she's been through in her life as she climbed, again, journey, not the destination. As she climbed up, it was, hey, I'm doing it. I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I'm having great things.
Yeah.
Eventually, it came in that she came up to the top of the mountain, and then recently, it was last month, actually this month, where she finally got her doctorate, got her diploma, was crowned, got her coronation, go lid, which hopefully she's listening to this, and finally did it. And I mean, for people who are still doing it, again, it's really them. They got it, and they did she did very, very, very good. So we all have our thing. And a friend of mine, I'm going to share one more story because I know she's listening to this, who wanted to start her show on Instagram and was first very, very nervous about doing things live. Yes, I am talking about you. But she's doing, doing her things live, and it's finally like, maybe I'm nervous, I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember this conversation still to this day. And I told her, I said, you're doing it, you're getting there. Sometimes it's going to be good, sometimes it's going to be bad. And now teaching her own Instagram Live course.
Yeah.
And how to do great things, too.
I used to be scared of going live. I love it now.
Me too. Me too. Me too. I was always, when I started training, and I was years ago when I was working in improv, and working through improv classes, I was always scared to get on stage. I'm like, I think I'm going to goof up. They're like, what's the point? If you're goofing up, nobody knows.
Yeah.
You just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh okay.
I did an improv class once. It was fun.
Yeah. Me too. Yeah. Me too. I am inches close of it. I think if I ever go back through it again, I am 2 courses away from legally being a certified clown. I'm halfway there.
Right. Back to the college thing. I graduated, got my associates. My father has his associates, but my brother has 2 masters.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good for your brother, but then you got your associates. That's good. I mean, I'm sticking with my bachelor's right now.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly may go for my master's at some point in time to try to figure out different careers and stuff, but it's also a different light. She's 11 years older than me in a different generation and had some different opportunities in front of her to move forward.
Yeah.
I'm also at this point where I'm like, okay, I got my job, I got everything else. I'm like, can I afford a student loan right now?
Yeah,
For
that's
a master's? Yeah. But, and also, what is happiness? Do I need that diploma to have happiness? No.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
No. But, is it something that, would I find happiness going for it?
Maybe, but
Possibly.
is it worth the student loan and the debt and all that stuff?
But you're also thinking, like, you're thinking in a little bit of a different light, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is it worth the student loan and the debt? Yes, because, if you want to be able to apply yourself to be great at the end and you tie yourself to going through it, the end result wouldn't be that bad. Several people have gone through, and I'm not going to get on a soapbox about this, but several people have gone through it to say there are happiness at the end. Well, this ties into what we're talking about.
Yeah.
There's happiness towards the end. Like, I have a very good friend who did it. He got a math degree because he said he could always get a math job. He could maybe teach. He could do something, and he's like, he didn't really know what he wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
What he ended up doing is he ended up quitting.
Oh, wow.
He didn't find the happiness because it wasn't worth it in the end. It wasn't worth it in the end for it. It's like he wanted to find happiness because he wanted to do that. And, any challenge, anything else, it is about finding who you are. And at the core of it, my thing is to be able to go through things, and I wanted, if I do get my master's or something, is to be that teacher who is looking at that student who doesn't, maybe feels that no one believes him or her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No one believes in them. And if nobody believes in them, and if that one teacher who can make a difference,
mm-hmm.
then that's what I want to be. And yes, I will accrue the debt. Yes, I will go ahead and work through that if it meant that I could be in that position.
I get that. Yeah.
That I could do all that. That's where I would want to see it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. And like anything else you go through, whether it's, like raising money for the CP, and yes, I was joking and telling a pain story about, the next morning waking up at 4:30 in the morning, having to get to work at 5 and realizing I live on a 3rd floor and my hips don't work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how's this going to work?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. But, the end of the result is there are patients of United Cerebral Palsy
mm-hmm.
who looked at it and said, okay, this guy's doing something and it's not letting his own affliction follow it. So maybe he couldn't do that, but, he's going to, one of the patients reached out to me, I think a year later, and said that he was going back to school because of what he saw.
Oh wow.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna go learn, I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna be. I forgot what he said he was going to do. But it's like, I think I can do this good thing. I can do this. I can do that. It said, I let this live in me for all this time.
Yeah.
Let this dictate who I am.
Oh, yeah. I get that. Yeah.
And I looked at it, I'm like, okay, good. Like, that's
That's
success
awesome.
because I did that because I knew I could lift our own kind up.
Yeah.
I could lift us up.
Yeah.
And when we lift us up, the better everybody else is going to be.
Yeah. That's important. Lifting up others and helping
Yeah,
others is.
exactly. Exactly. That's why I have the tattoo of climb, the your one word on my arm.
Yeah.
Constantly looking at it. Climb.
And where is it?
It's on my wrist.
Okay.
So I got this. It was when I looked at when I met Alex. We're going to go ahead and do things on a budget, folks. There's right here.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So Alexander Zayan of Toronto Dance Salsa has his on his wrist.
Okay.
Below every time, and I looked at that, and then I'm like, okay, I need that. I need climb on my wrist.
Yeah.
Constantly, just to remind me when it's bad times, look at it, and go, okay, we're good. We're good. We've got it. Little reminders, little things every day, folks. Little things.
So how long did it take you to get to work that day?
Good question. Let's see. I was up 4:30. Looked at the down the stairs. It was just about an hour.
Okay.
And I live 4 minutes away, door to door.
So how late were you?
What's that?
How late were you?
About an hour.
Oh, you were late on that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
About actually no, it was about just half hour, 45 minutes away actually.
Okay.
So about half hour, 45. So yeah, roughly about an hour. When I was sitting at my desk, my boss was no way near there. She didn't get in until 9 o'clock, and she's like, "I was watching the live feed. How you feel?" Like, great. Yeah, okay, good. I'm not getting out of this desk chair all day, but I'll be fine.
Yeah.
It still took 3 days to fix it up, but it's still the end result is somebody's telling me, "Hey, I'm okay." Like there's a kid that I remember this kid, and I think I've talked about this on this show before. Is a kid named Steve Pacheco that I met when I was 21, he was 9, so he's got to be in his mid-20s about now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Kind of wild to even say. But he was checked in. He was in a special needs class, and they do this in Somerset every once in a while, the town next door from us, where they trek some kids over just to have like a class or two with the quote-unquote normal groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, he was generally fine. Like I sized him up quickly. He just had a little bit of emotional issues. And, I saw him and I see the CP in the left arm and I'm like, okay, you're my buddy. Like, I got you. And I spent time talking with the kid because the teacher said this and it was the most insulting damn thing I've ever seen. And she's like, no, he's the stupidest kid in the class. Just let him be and he'll go back to his original class once you're done.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, yeah, you don't say that to me. No.
What?
Yeah. So the assignments that I had it was over 5 weeks where I was helping kids and we were talking about business, entrepreneurship. And they start out at the end of the 5 weeks when I'm talking with them, they end up like creating their own little mock version of a business and they have a chance to make a presentation if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
So the little quiet kid nobody's paying attention to gets up, talks in front of the class. First up, the lady's jaw dropped, hit the floor. As he got up and he did a really good thing about how he wants to have a monster truck power washing company, which I think is kind of cool. But still, but I see this kid almost 10 years later, and he comes up to me in a CVS, Mr. Tabor, oh my gosh, running full speed at me. Didn't catch who he was at first. And then I see his eyes, and I'm like, this is Steven. hugs me and he says, "Man, I've been dying to meet you up with you again. So when you were working with Junior Achievement, you're the guy who got me out of this." He worked his way out of special needs, man.
Mm.
And he figured his own way and he said, "Okay, I got into the other classes, I worked things out, I did what I did," and he graduated number 6 in his class.
Oh, wow.
And then he had a full ride to some college or something. I think he ended up being a mechanic, which is like, I just wanted to show people I could work with my hands. I'm like, "You go, dude." Yeah. And of course we had to high five on that one, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And, they just keep going. I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you got it, cool." And then just kept moving forward. And, those little things, that's why I even, I think that was a spark for me
Yeah.
to even get into doing all these other things and saying, "Okay, let's keep going, or let's keep lifting the communities up, because there's too much doubt in this world."
Yeah, that's true.
It's okay. You can just do that. Or it's okay. You can just be that way. Okay, it's okay. You can do that. No, it's not okay. It's not okay. If that is the only thing you can do, yes, that's okay. But everybody else telling you it's okay, nah, don't do that.
Complacency is a bad thing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh man, I thought we were gonna do a shorter episode today, but this is good. This is good, bro. This is great.
Yeah, right.
Ooh, man.
Yeah.
I have some ideas I'm going to tell you about, because I have some ideas for future episodes I want to keep going with, because I was doing my run this morning and I fell into a meditative state and I said, "Okay, I know what I want to do."
Right.
I know what we want to do here. Oh, all right. So I guess we'll wrap this one up. We good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
All right, good. All right. All right, gangs. This has been Powering Past Abilities. I'm Nick.
Mike.
All right. Have yourself a great one, folks, and remember, you can always climb up higher.
Yep. Bye-bye.
See you soon. Bye, guys.